Hey friends, welcome back to our channel. We are so excited for today's episode because it's all about broken trust. Have you experienced broken trust in your relationship?
Yeah, we definitely have experienced broken trust. And there's different levels of broken trust. There's
Yes.
different levels of betrayal.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that comes to my mind is in order for there to be a betrayal, there has to be trust established already in the relationship,
Right.
right?
Right. And that's a really important part of a relationship is that trust. It's a foundation
Yeah.
that if that is not there, everything else is really rocky.
By the way, that what you're talking about, you put your hand out again. This foundation of trust is really the foundation of truth. Like
Yes.
this is truth, and anything outside of truth is not a foundational thing. It's just not true.
Right.
Yeah, going back to these different levels of betrayal, it really depends on what was done, because there could be, a simple lie, or there could be infidelity, and they're both different.
Right.
They're both completely different, but they're both betrayal. They're both a broken trust that you had in a relationship.
Absolutely. Yeah, and some other areas are like maybe your spouse has made promises they didn't keep. Or
One of ours is financial purchases. It's me purchasing something that you were not aware of, or you purchasing something
Or
I
didn't
wasn't
agree
aware
with.
of. Yeah.
Maybe there was discovery of pornography or infidelity. That's also betrayal and broken trust.
Another one is gossip. Maybe you heard your spouse talking about you and you immediately lost trust in them. Anytime we hear gossip,
Right.
immediately we lose trust in everybody that's involved in it.
That's right. You can't help it. It's a subconscious thing
It is.
that happens.
You expect
immediately
it
lose
then.
trust. Another one, and this is something that we heard recently from a couple that he had felt so invalidated by his wife that he had lost his trust in her. And that's so small. That's a small thing that most of the time gets overlooked and you never realize that there's broken trust there until these other things start happening because it stems from something like feeling invalidated in the relationship
That's
to
right.
begin with. And so that's a slippery slope that really if it impacts the marriage in massive ways down the road.
One of the ways I know I have broken trust with you is I will tell you, I'm going to start working out. I'm going to work out every day. And then I don't. But what's interesting about that is not only do I break the trust with you, I actually lose trust in myself. And so do you. Anytime you say and do something that doesn't line up with who it is you want to be, you lose trust in yourself and your partner loses trust in you.
Yes, and all of this is silent.
Yeah.
It's not something that we talk about or even look at on a regular basis. But the reason we feel called to share this is broken trust in a marriage starts small and it grows.
It does. I have this confirmation bias. Each and every time I see that happening, I have this confirmation bias where what I look for, I find. And I will look for you to break my trust, and I will find it over and over, and it starts magnifying. See, she did it again.
Yep. Yeah, and just an example we were exploring right before jumping on here was over the last 2 weeks, Travis forgot to do the title and description.
I did.
For
That's
our
my
videos.
job, by the way,
2
to do
weeks.
these titles and descriptions, and I didn't do it.
Okay, so what happened was one of our videos released without the title and without the description, and I was like, ooh, okay, I took care of it, I got it. And then so the second week, I had a thought, I should go check that. And sure enough, he didn't do it, so I did it.
And now she's rescuing me.
And now I'm like, I'll be checking on you from now on to make sure that you're doing the job that you said you would do. That is a prime example of something that starts so small.
Yeah.
And it was immediate. I started looking for it.
Yes.
We realized this in the conversation for the first time because all that was silent,
Right.
subconscious thinking, but it was there running in the backdrop. And I'm realizing, wow, I feel the need to constantly discover.
I can't
Have you
trust
done it?
him. I
Did
can't
you do
trust
it?
him doing that. That makes complete sense. And that's not my desire, right? Like, I don't want to not do my job. I don't want to not do what it is my commitment level is, what I'm supposed to do. And that's not my desire.
That's where a lot of nagging comes from. Did you do what you said you would do?
Right.
And I have to constantly ask you because you're constantly not doing what you said you would do.
Right.
So let's just talk about discovery. When there is broken trust, discovery happens.
It's like you become a detective. You
Yeah.
look for those things. You're looking for evidence. You're looking for clues.
Proof.
And depending on once again, all this is dependent on the level of betrayal.
Right.
Because it can run the gamut.
Right.
But depending on the level of betrayal, it depends on how much you're going to investigate and look for these clues and discovery. Because
Right.
you're like, they're not telling me, they're not disclosing,
Right.
so I'm going to go look.
Right. Yeah, and it can be in all kinds of areas where dishonesty is. And that's really a picture of unhealthy broken trust, because there's also a healthy way of walking through broken trust.
It is.
And I have a prime example of that. It was a few months ago. You asked me a question. My answer was, oh yeah, a few days ago, I went to that store. What happened in the background was I didn't want to have to go to the store again. And I knew they weren't going to have whatever it is we were looking for.
Yeah.
So in order to just get you to not say anything else, I was like, I was just there.
Yeah.
And I felt this little like nudge, like, but were you really just there? But I had already said it. And so I just got quiet after that. And I was feeling guilty because
This is relating, isn't it?
this is something so small, you guys, but that's how it starts. That's how it grows. And so I'm feeling this like, this is sucky. I know I just lied and I broke his trust and he doesn't know it. And so later on, the Holy Spirit just convicted me of that and even said, go tell Travis. So I was like coming to you and sharing that this is not who I want to be and this is what I did.
Yeah.
And I'm really sorry. And that is not what I want. And I don't want any dishonesty. I want to be transparent with you. And I was not honest about that.
Wow.
And that was not easy
Wow.
to do.
That
it took
is-
so much bravery, really. I was terrified. What are you going to think about me?
Right.
Are you going to believe me in the future when I say things? Or are you going to just not trust me when I say things? You know, I just didn't know what the outcome was going to be, but my mind was telling me all the things that were going to be bad if I share.
Yeah, and I'm blown away because I'm like, wow, you trust me enough to tell me that you lied? That builds my trust in you.
Right? That's disclosing.
It built my trust in you, and I was like, wow, I respect you so much for doing that.
Right.
Taking personal responsibility?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's hard. It's hard to take personal responsibility, and 9 out of 10
Well, the world
times,
tells me I need to be a victim.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah, the world tells me I need to be a victim, and you're absolutely right.
Yeah. But when I finished telling him all of that, I saw how he accepted me and was like, wow, I really appreciate you telling me that. And he knows that I'm not going to lie. And if it happens, I'm going to tell him.
Yeah.
And that built trust and it
And
built
intimacy.
intimacy on a really deep level, because that was like so vulnerable for me to come and say. And it was tough.
It's inspiring for me. It really is inspiring for me. Yeah, you're welcome.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
That's what's available when you walk through broken trust in a healthy way. And that can be on any level of dishonesty or broken trust, that when you go to your spouse and you disclose things, wow, it has a different impact than a discovery. And so just keep that in mind. The ball is in your court and you can do something about it if you're the one who has broken the trust. Okay, so we've talked about broken trust. We talked about what discovery is. We talked about disclosure. What else is important when broken trust is in a marriage?
Integrity. Integrity is I am acting, my words, my actions, they align with the person that I really want to be in my future self. Like, I really need to determine, you really need to determine who it is you want to be. The values, the character, who it is you really want to be as a future self. Because I need to have a vision of that so that my words and my actions are in alignment with that person.
Right.
And when they're not in alignment with that, then I'm falling out of integrity. I'm not being a person of integrity.
Right.
And when that happens, because it will happen, you stay in communication about it. You communicate with, just like what you did. You acted in a way that was not in alignment, which, by the way, that's such a beautiful story of confession and who you're not committed to being. And when you act that way, when you do that, you have this chance of saying, hey, this is what I did that wasn't in alignment. And then you're right back there in alignment again.
Right.
You trust yourself again.
Yes.
You have trust restored in your relationship with me.
Yes.
You're in integrity.
Hey, I'm in integrity because I know what it feels like to have the enemy just all twisted up in that. And how one lie starts another lie that starts another lie, and it's just a slippery slope for me. I don't know if it is for you, but I have
It is for
found
me.
I have to keep it at 0 lies in my life, because
Yeah.
it's like I just naturally fall down that path, and
Yeah.
it's just I go out of awareness, and I lived a life of lies for so many years that I believed the lies that I told and got confused about which lies I was telling,
Yeah.
and it sucks.
Living a life like that does. It really divides who we are. You know, it says in
Yeah.
James, the double-minded. That's exactly what's going on, is you're not acting in accordance with who it is God created you to be.
Right.
And you can't live that way. It's a double-minded life, and man, it's confusing, it's frustrating. I've got to stay in alignment. I've got to be with truth. That's the
Yeah, and
foundation, like you said earlier.
right. And so, because I'm committed to transparency and honesty in this marriage, that prompt from the Holy Spirit was there for a reason. Because I know that all it takes is one lie to come between this marriage. And that's up to me. I can take care of that. I can do my part in that. And it's up to me. And I can be personally responsible and come out feeling better on the other side of that.
So you might be that person right now. You're right now building trust. You broke trust, and now you're building it. And your words and actions are in alignment with who it is that you're committed to being. And all that's going good. And you might be saying, well, how long do I need to do that? How long do I need to be in integrity? How long do I need to disclose? And we would submit to you that this is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like, this is a lifestyle of who you're committed to being, who you're going to be in your life. You have to make
integrity.
you have to make it a lifestyle of integrity.
Yeah, I believe God made us to walk in integrity, because when I'm not in integrity, I'm in disalignment. It's chaotic in my body. I've disappointed God. I've disappointed you. I've disappointed myself.
You may be feeling that way right now. As we're talking, you may be feeling, I feel this chaoticness in myself right now.
Yes. I would just encourage you that living a life of integrity and trust, more so in this relationship than anything else in the world, will bring you such a reward. Like, having unity in our marriage is so rewarding.
Yeah.
And when broken trust comes in, it destroys that unity. It destroys intimacy and connection. And I close my heart off to you. And it can start small. We've already talked about it. It starts this big, but it grows over time to the point where I'm resentful and bitter, and I just don't love you anymore.
Yeah, you bring up a good point that I was thinking about. Maybe I should have started this whole conversation with what you just said, is in the heart. It's really about what's in your heart, right? Like, what is really going on in your heart? The quality of what's going on in your heart is really going to determine who you're going to be. It's going to determine your actions and how your choices, your decisions. It really depends on your heart, because it says in the Bible that out of it is the wellspring of life. You know, your choices, your actions, the words that come out of your mouth, they all come from the heart. What is the condition of your heart that has you lying? What is the condition of your heart that has you not being in integrity with who it is you're committed to being? Because I know that's not who it is you want to be.
Right.
So really go and discover that. Look for yourself, like, wow, maybe I do have something going on with my heart. Maybe I do need to take a deeper look at this. Maybe this is why I'm making these choices and decisions that just aren't working for me, and my life is chaotic, and my marriage is chaotic, and my kids are chaotic, and everything is chaotic in my work and my life.
And I also just want to encourage you that those of you that are in the rebuilding process, that you really lean into how you can support each other during this time. We have shared some of the things that worked for us in disclosing and being in integrity, but maybe your spouse has an additional way that would really support them in rebuilding that trust. That would be important that you have that conversation as a couple.
And you may be saying, yes, I needed all this and I need some additional support. And if that's you, we're going to put a link right here on the video. It is a link to our website where you can look at the course, Walking Through Betrayal. It is something that Adelle and I created that is a step-by-step video series of walking through betrayal for the betrayed and the betrayer.
Yes, you can watch it together as a couple, and we recommend watching all the videos together. You can also walk side by side your spouse, where you do it separately and you only watch the videos that are designed specifically for you. Or your spouse may not be interested in taking the course, but you want healing for yourself. And I would say go for this course.
Yes.
It is so impactful, even taking it as an individual person. Not only do we hope that this academy supports those of you that have broken trust, but it also supports us in our ministry. So we just want to say thank you for that as well. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. Not only does it support our ministry, but it supports other marriages in seeing this content. The more you give us the thumbs up, comment, and subscribe, YouTube takes our channel and puts it in front of more people. And we're seeing that happen because we're getting messages from so many people saying, I just landed on this, and wow, it's what I've been needing for where I'm at in my relationship. Yeah. So thank you so much, and thank you for considering subscribing to our tribe.
Yes, thanks. Thanks for joining us on this episode. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
I was trying to decide where I want to go from here, and I was just realizing it's rare that I am after that, because I guess I've been doing the intro, and I should have been ready for that.
Yep.
All right, so I'm thinking...
Tossing the ball to you.
Yeah. I should have been ready instead of just sitting here smiling. One of ours was financial
Purposes.
Yeah.
Purposes.
Okay.
That's good.
I think I just want to say bye.
Okay. If you haven't thought about subscribing,
you can subscribe right here. Nope. Here.
Subscription.